Howdy, I'm Howdy.
And I'm the Beast with Howdy and the Beast Welding and Metal Fabrications. Thank you for your time today. We're here to share a little bit more information about the services and products that we offer.
I'm here with JD with Howdy and the Beast Welding Fabrication Company in Morristown, and wanted to just have a quick conversation to get a little bit better understanding about what they do. JD, can you tell me your history of how long you've been welding, kind of what got you into it, and what it is that you like about it?
Absolutely. So, growing up, I've always liked art and drawing and creating, and welding just kind of gave me an outlet to be able to put things together and be creative. And fortunately, I've made a career out of it and traveled around the United States building oil and gas plants. And now we're deciding to settle down and start a family or a home here in Arizona, looking to build a business and build your dreams true.
So, what has been your most favorite project that you have done since you started doing this?
Well, favorite project. One of my favorite projects that we've done has would obviously be the Roper Stallion. It's always been a dream of mine to rope and ride, and we came to Arizona and got into the roping industry and getting horses, and it's just helped me tremendously in building consistency in my rope game. So being able to use my talent to be able to build something to help everyone else in that roping industry has definitely been one of my prized projects.
So I kind of accidentally got tied in with JD last winter. We were roping together at the same place and just kind of hit it off. And he kind of gave me a little bit of his background and his history with welding and everything. And one of the things that I noticed right off the bat was just how outgoing he was and how friendly he was. The other thing that really stuck out to me is just the way that he takes care of his equipment and how professional everything looks. The first thing I noticed talking to him was just how nice and clean and professional his truck looked. And with being in construction most of my adult life, that's kind of a big deal to me. That I don't know if a lot of people would necessarily notice that, but when someone takes pride in their equipment, that usually means they take pride in their work too. I've gotten to know him a little bit better, and I've learned that not only are they doing smaller projects, like actually building like the Roper Stallion he's talking about, but they're also going out and building fencing and larger projects. I mean, kind of the sky's the limit there. And with the history of them, I feel comfortable hiring them for anything. So can you tell me, JD, what welding techniques that you do?
So you mentioned a lot there that I'd like to kind of touch on. Some being making the small things great. I grew up from an entrepreneurial background, and my dad's always ran his own business, and he's been like really adamant on us about that from early on. And I would definitely say doing the small things great and taking pride in what we do is definitely some of the foundational things that we stand on, along with customer satisfaction. So. We do take quite great care of our equipment and our machines and things to that degree that afford us a livelihood. And it does carry over into the quality of work that we're able to put out and our craftsmanship.
So we did a video with these guys here a couple weeks ago. They've got a welding school as well that they do. Seems like mostly evenings and weekends outside of their projects, and that kind of shows the passion that they have for this. They could go home at the end of the day and just relax and go to sleep, but they still take the time to teach other people how to do this. And when I was there, man, I've never laughed so hard. That was such a fun video to make. There were some great students. Just the whole situation was phenomenal. I think refresh my memory. What kind of welding were you doing when we were there?
Great question. So the welding school, we cover oxyacetylene cutting. We cover MIG welding, stick welding, and TIG welding. We offer those courses on a private basis to the public, so they can be held on a one-on-one basis or a group basis. And we just use that time to basically inform our clients of some fundamental knowledge and safety that's in regard to welding. And we have an array of clients. We have clients that are young, that are trying to figure out how to get a career started in welding. And we have some clients that are just looking to do some DIY projects and some fixing up some stuff on their place. So no matter the experience level, no experience is needed. We thoroughly enjoy teaching it, and it's definitely turned into something more than we were imagining when we first started offering it.
If you could envision your dream project, what would it be?
Okay, so dream project. Getting into the welding industry, it's always been like my goal to build my house. I don't necessarily want the conventional house that you see when you drive through a neighborhood. My vision of it is a little bit different. I do metal work, so I want a big metal building. And of course, with all the amenities that you would see on what was the show that used to be out back when we were kids?
Oh,
Not Pimp My Ride, but
yeah.
basically where they walk through Bow Wow's house and Snoop Dogg's house.
The cribs,
Yeah,
what the heck?
MTV
Yeah,
Cribs.
that one. Yep.
Yeah, so from the road it would look like a barn, but when you came in it would look like MTV Cribs.
Yep.
Basically, I just, my dream is to just build our home. I don't care to buy a piece of land with a house. Like, we want to just build it all.
The area that we're in is huge into horses and cattle and obviously roping and just everything that has to do with equine activities. And how does your passion for roping tie into the business that you decided to start?
Absolutely. So, we love our horses, and we definitely do our best to take care of them and do what we feel is needed for them for their you know for them to remain at their best. And a lot of the pens and stalls that they're kept in are kept in metal. And a lot of times we're going out to do repair work. A lot of the urine and moisture from the sand has completely deteriorated existing structures or existing gates, which clients have kind of makeshift ways to make them work. And we're able to kind of come in and reassess the situation and give that building or post another life again, along with new construction. So it's a lot of homes in the area that are bare land and just desert land, and a lot of people have a vision for where they want to take that piece of land or what they may want to do with it. And we're the right team to call to be able to get an arena, stalls, and everything else that would be needed for that piece of property to be a horse property.
That is something that I've noticed. There are a lot of properties that the fencing has kind of deteriorated over the years here. Do you envision your business going more towards the repair side or more towards the new construction side, or are you going to kind of cover everything?
Well, in an attempt to kind of get our work out there and get people to knowing who Howdy and the Beast is, we've started doing a lot of repair jobs here lately, to be able to get the opportunity to showcase our work, our level of craftsmanship, and ultimately what we're able to do. And we're doing that in an effort to just get our work out and show people what we're capable of doing.
One thing that I've noticed is you're really good about just communicating and just getting out there and getting to know people in the community and talking to everyone. And tell me how you develop that skill, because nowadays a lot of people struggle with that.
So it's been quite hard. The industry that we come out of, and being in a lot of supervisory positions, I'm forced to kind of deal with umpteenth and multiple personalities, and still be able to stay productive. My personality has been more of a people's person, and just kind of being able to get out and network.
Yeah, and just I've noticed that like you're really active on Facebook, and I know you got a YouTube channel that's up and going, and I mean, gosh, just the other night, we all went out and had dinner and hung out, and just had a really good time, had a really good night, and Like I said, that's something that I see a lot of businesses struggling with. A lot of business owners reach out to Camille and I about that, trying to figure out how to network. And man, that's so cool to see people in this area that are doing that and doing it right. It kind of brings another level of comfort, I think.
Agreed. And I mean, honestly, marketing is different nowadays than what it was maybe whenever we were growing up. The newspaper is becoming a bit more irrelevant. We have social media now, we have AI now. So if you don't continue to educate yourself or try and stay abreast of the technology, I mean, you'll get passed up,
Yeah,
right?
isn't it crazy just how everything's developed so much? I mean,
Agreed.
now with the development of AI and just the ability to go in and just ask whatever you want and get an education that growing up we didn't have. It was it's definitely changing.
Absolutely. And, you spoke on YouTube quite a bit. We've started a YouTube channel to kind of develop a following and spread our knowledge to people that we may not be able to touch tangibly or may not be able to come and spend a session with us, but they'll be able to get some of that information and still that knowledge wherever they are.
I have this rule that education is free, but implementation costs money. It definitely these guys seem like they're doing it right. They're putting out the information, they're putting out the knowledge to help other people that do have the ability to do it themselves, but also to show that they know what they're doing.
Agreed. And, with anything, it does take time. So we're just trying to do things the right way, not overskip any steps. And just like we talked about earlier, small things, right? So we
Right.
do these small things right, and we get people to know who we are, what we offer. There won't be a question if they want to do business with us.
So I'd like to introduce you to the other half of Howdy and the Beast. This is April,
Howdy.
also known as Howdy. April, tell me how you got involved in welding.
I have been welding for quite a long time, but I got involved with it because I had a child quite young and I needed to figure out how to pay the bills. So I became a welder and fabricator, and it's been amazing ever since.
So you've traveled the country for how long now doing this?
I've only been traveling for about 8 years at it.
And before that?
I actually got the honor of being home and being a mom and working out of the hall and stuff where I was at.
That's awesome. So sounds like you've been doing this even longer than JD has.
Just a few years longer.
A few years. How did you guys get together?
It's crazy, but we were on a job in Pennsylvania and we met there. The crazy part is he's from Louisiana and I'm from Kentucky, and we met in Pennsylvania.
And now you're in Arizona.
Now we're in Arizona.
And you've been settled in Arizona for a few years now.
Yeah, we've been here for about 4, going on 5 years now.
And from your perspective, what is it that excites you about your future with your business and specifically in Arizona since you guys are here year round?
The exciting part is actually just getting to see the business grow, and we get to do some amazing projects, and we also get to build people's dreams and eventually build our own.
Why did you decide to settle down?
It's kind of a crazy thing to travel across the country with 2 horses and a bull, and you get places and people are questioning the fact you have a bull.
What's your favorite project to do here locally?
Any project with furry animals or any type of animals.
Any type of animals.
Any type of animals.
So JD does all the work while you pet the furry stuff.
I try to make it that way.
I understand that. What else do you think that people should know about you and JD and kind of your passion behind why you do what you do?
The fact that we love welding so much that we decided to start a welding school and teach people how to weld and fabricate so they can enjoy what we do. Like, it's a pretty amazing little thing, and we just want to share it.